Today, I want to show you guys a deck that I believe is being completely slept on, and it's not that this deck is tier 1 by any means, but I have had one viewer in particular absolutely pop off with a Deathrattle version of Rogue, and it is all about a Deathrattle Umbra combo. Let me go ahead and just show you their stats real quick. This is someone that's in my Discord that is actively posting about different decks and different strategies. So again, if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, but also check out our Discord where we are constantly coming up with brand new ideas. And on today's stream, I have several new deck ideas, even though a lot of people seem to be settled in what they want to be nerfed, what they want to be changed, but I am still doing everything I can to find as many interesting decks as possible, and this deck definitely needs to be on that list. But somebody in my Discord was able to pop off with this deck, going 61-19 on their Legend grind, as well as having some games in Legend, still having success with this deck. But one thing to keep in mind is that a lot of this data was collected during the beginning of the expansion. So I cannot exactly guarantee that this deck is going to do well if you are a Legend player, but I do think it is worth experimenting because it turns out that Deathrattle Umbra is extremely efficient and very good at doing its job to where you can combo as early as turn 6 without even setting up every single one of the Deathrattles that are possible. So I just feel like there's a lot of potential with this archetype to where, again, another combo on turn 6, another combo that's happening on turn 6 against a Zoo Warlock sitting at 4 health left. This deck does run Garona, so again, there's a lot of experimentation that might be possible with this particular deck, but they ended up hitting, you know, almost top 1,000 with this deck a couple of days ago, and I just thought it was a really cool idea because, again, this deck is all about the Deathrattles. Like, you've got Messmaker, you have Sizzling Cinder, and you have Nomelia in the deck as your Deathrattle cards that are dealing damage, so that way when you play Chronolord Deathrattle into Umbra, Umbra is going to cast its Battlecry twice while triggering Deathrattles, and those Deathrattles are effectively going to trigger 4 times. So it's really, really busted when you get it going. And the other thing that's obviously busted about this combo is how you can play Web of Deception and Shadow Step in order to return these key cards, because with Deathrattle and Scoundrel working the way that it does, it is very, very powerful, and I would not be surprised to see this card get potentially nerfed in the next balance patch coming up. So if you want to play some Scoundrel decks, now might be the time to do it, because I really feel like this card it's pushing its luck. But just so you guys are aware, this version right here is the version that I played in the video clips coming up ahead, but you could also play this version of the deck, which does actually have some donkey data in order to back it up. It does use the Garona in order to draw the important legendaries, which honestly does make a lot of sense because you really need these cards in order to end the game. So running the Kingslayer in order to do that is absolutely fine. There are Robocallers in this newer list, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really a big fan of Robocaller in general, just because it doesn't really offer a whole lot of consistency with its card draws. I would still rather run just like the Dubious, the Fast Forward. Robocaller just seems like it's a little bit too much. But again, dude, like, here's the data on this deck. Almost 60% going from Diamond to Legend, and I don't think there's any data of this deck in actual Legend. There actually is, holy crap. 40 games, still sitting at a 57% win rate. So there is some actual potential for this deck to be a real meta contender. I'm gonna put in parentheses because regular Tempo Rogue is just probably better. But this is exactly what I'm talking about with brand new cards and brand new expansions. It may not be the best Rogue deck out there, but this deck definitely is not weak and has a lot of room for improvement depending on what cards you want to tech into it. And some of you may be asking, why exactly is it called Cinema Rogue? Well, because every single time that you pop off this combo, unless you're meticulously counting every single little bit of damage, you're just kind of, you know, sitting back and watching the show as everything pops off. So thank you guys so much for making it to the end of this pseudo deck breakdown. Have fun with the new expansion like I'm having, and if you want more deck lists, don't forget to subscribe and check out our Discord for everything Hearthstone related. And we'll see you for the next video. You know, I'm actually not sure about the O managers in this deck now that I'm really looking at it. O managers might be completely unnecessary. Alright, listen guys, I can explain. Alright, this deck is not what you think it is. I mean, something pretty funny is that you could put a Sonya in this deck and it would, like, insanely duplicate the damage. It probably would be super unnecessary, but it would be doable. I mean, Sonya with Cinders, though. Hold on a minute. That's actually a consideration. If you use Sonya with Cinders, then you don't need to run Messmaker. But then you have to hold on to the Cinders, and you can't tempo them. So it has its advantages, but it also has its disadvantages. Messmaker is actually decent. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not really sure how much. I don't know how much damage this deals, and I don't want anyone to say anything. I don't want no one do math. If you do the math, you're a nerd, and we'll point and laugh at you. Nerd! Yeah, don't do it. We'll figure this out. I want it to be a surprise. I want this to be a surprise. But honestly, this is going really well. What is the goal of this deck? The goal of this deck is to kill off our Deathrattle minions, Sizzling Cinder, Messmaker, and Nomelia. So that way we have 5 Deathrattle minions that have died that deal damage. And then we'll play Chronolord Deos into Umbra, and then we watch the fireworks. And then we just watch our opponent just get shredded up. 1 damage at a time. Dude, we are drawing. We are drawing here, man. This is why Rogue can do stuff like this and Shaman can't. Don't send a Rogue to do a Shaman's job. How do we discount Umbra to 3 mana? We don't need to discount Umbra to 3 mana. But we also have Chronolord Deos. You play 1 mana Scoundrel into Deos for 4 mana. And then you can Shadow Step the Scoundrel. The Scoundrel's now going to pop off twice, which makes Umbra 1 mana. So you only need to, what, is that 6 mana total? Something else I just now considered, you don't need to use Sonya because you have Elise to make copies of the other Deathrattles. So you can actually fill out the space pretty well with this deck. You've pulled this combo off on turn 6? Wow. Okay, that's impressive. Ooh. That is really hard to say no to, because that's just endless mana. I knew I was right putting Ysera in the deck. Who would have thunk it? Gee, Ysera, good card. Who would have thought? Alright, cool. I played like 10 games of Zoo Warlock, and maybe this was just in the moment. But I don't know, dude. I'm not seeing a lot of tempo decks. I'm seeing a lot of like control or like late game oriented decks, you know? Like, that's good. I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that there are some people that are like, bro, I'm only seeing like Quest Warlock and like all these aggressive decks. And I'm like, dude, I wish I was seeing that. Sometimes I wish that was what I was seeing. But I was playing Zoo Warlock and getting absolutely dunkered on by anything with lifesteal. Feels kind of bad. People stuck in the old meta. I feel like there will be, you know, a moment where people will realize. They'll realize the real meta. The Cinder meta. Everyone loves a good Cinder, am I right? Alright, give me a fast forward. Everything must go? Sure.
Here we go.
I mean, at this point, we're just beating him on the board. I want him to gain HP. Ooh, something good. Something with lifesteal. Let me give him life. I will actively give him life. Do I remember Cinder Shaman? From how long ago was it? Like, I do remember you talking about it though. Elic. Yo. That's kind of funny. I do have a way of dealing with this. Obviously, I have Dubious Purchase, but I may not even need the Dubious Purchase. Is Elise the only way of copying your Sizzling Cinders? You don't need to copy all the Sizzling Cinders because you also have Nomelia. If anything, it would probably be better to copy Nomelia. but it is a way of copying certain Deathrattles to where if you need the flexibility, for example, that it's just there. I have to play this for card draw anyway, but...
My duty fulfilled. Too soon.
Kind of crazy how I didn't hit any fast forwards. I think the O managers should be draw a minion for sure, and I think your list had that, right? Okay, sweet. He's gaining health. Perfect. I actually want him to do this. Perfect. There's the Umbra. Where's the Deathrattle? Yeah, the other guy was running Cultist maps, but I think Cultist map is unnecessary. Survivability is just #1 when it comes to these style of decks, I feel like. All right, there it is. Do we just have it now? I want him to gain a lot of health. I like want to stress test this. Play a bunch of stuff. Have big board.
A true queen defends.
Oh, hell yeah. Isn't this just 20 damage? No. No. It's way more than that. Okay, come on. Gain life. Make big minion. I damn near want to like give him like another turn. Like, again, I want to stress test this. Maybe this is enough, though. Shadow Step? Oh, I don't even need Shadow Step right now. Alright, here we go. Here we go. First try doing it with the Rogue deck. The Shaman deck was nowhere even close to this. All right, I don't know. This might be a lot. This might be a lot, guys. Let's see how much this is, huh? We got Deathrattle. We've got Umbra. Oh my God, he's actually not dead. But here's the thing. He's dead. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Messmaker just needs to be cut, I think. Is there like a way that we can only put in Nomelias? How do we like only copy the Nomelias? Yeah, this is pretty toxic. Yeah, this is pretty toxic, dude. Hold on a minute. How do we make this better? What does Deathrattle do? So here's why Deathrattle is important to this combo. The reason why Deathrattle is so important is because he doubles your battle cry, right? And he doubles your Deathrattles. So when you play Umbra and it activates the Deathrattles are getting doubled. And since you activate the battle cry twice, you are essentially quadrupling those Deathrattles. And if you do that twice with like a Shadow Step, then yeah, you can see how it gets kind of crazy. Insidious? Here's the thing about Insidious. When you do the Insidious combo, you don't automatically kill your opponent. Guess you can't. You just kind of have to run the Messmaker. Does just kind of fit the bill. You know, cutting the old manager is just better. Yeah, collectors. Yeah, honestly, it was either collectors or cultist map. The one thing I don't like about the Space Star collectors is the fact that they can get in the way of like dig for treasure.
A few moments later.
Holy Jesus fucking God, that is degenerate. That is actually ridiculously degenerate. Oh no. Oh no, that sucks. Oh, Daniel. Oh, I didn't like that at all, Daniel. Oh, Daniel, I did not like that at all. What was that, Daniel?
No, I don't like this, David. No, that's enough. No, David, I don't like that. No.
For the light. For my
What's the win con of this deck? When you see what my opponent did, imagine I did that. But with like Nomelia and like Messmaker and other stuff. That's kind of the goal of my deck. I wanted to do what he did, but his deck is literally, you know, built towards doing that. Ooh, boy, did that suck. I don't think testing dumbing is living more than 2 weeks. I mean, what are they gonna do? Reduce it to like, you know, 6 damage? I feel like the only way they meaningfully nerf that card is if they make it like 4 damage. Like, if it's 6 damage, it doesn't even really matter. It's still going to, you know, be infinite damage. I mean, you know how they could kill it? There's a very simple option here to kill the card. Oh yeah, let's go. They could just make it to where it only hits minions. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta play Bomb Warrior now if you want to deal damage. You gotta shuffle the bombs into the deck. Bucko. No! No, say it ain't so, we're still having the issue. I nuked my OBS. Okay, which is it a game or is it OBS? I'll be both of them, but I'm actually very excited about it. Just have to build all your problems.
too soon.
Oh, jeez. Sure. There we go. I almost want to Shadow Step Elise. I'm going to Shadow Step Elise. It might be a little crazy, but just watch me work next turn. So now let me get the Spotify back on as well. Boom. Okay, bam. Alright, give me another copy. Well, copy and spell. Alright, low rolled on the Elise there. Kinda sucks. Alright, we'll make it work. We're playing the new expansion. We're pretty much doing a bunch of memes right now. Trying, like, you know, whatever sounds funny, whatever sounds gimmicky. And there's a lot of variety that at least I'm seeing on my way to Legend. Alright, let's do this and see what we find. A Dubious. A Cultist map. Dubious is just kind of good to remove the board right now.
Blaze a trail. Yeah, here we go.
Now this is treasure.
Too soon.
All right, next turn we have this and to make a copy.
Starting the operation.
What deck do I want to try that I haven't yet? Octazari Demon Hunter. I think Octazari would be really... Can she stick the landing? Is he gonna throw the game, ladies and gentlemen? That's the question they all want to know. Is he gonna throw the game? I mean, dude, this is just lethal. Right? 4, Shadow Step 1. Yeah, dude, this is just enough mana. You know I can live with that. I could have gotten maximum value, but you know what? I don't need it. Instead, I can gaslight my opponent into thinking that he did a good job.
This is treasure. Now this is treasure.
Okay, I guess if I had the Nomelia, he would have died. But this is still a decent amount of damage. Oh wait, could this be lethal? That's so stupid. Ah, dude. I should have been punished for my mistake, but as is the biggest lesson of Hearthstone, you never get punished for your mistakes. You just don't. There's no such thing as getting punished in this game. Okay, I mean, this might be if every class can do this, this might get on people's nerves pretty quickly. Going to be honest.